Morning light danced through the sparkling crystal blue waters of the Great Barrier Reef, where tiny bubbles sparkled like diamonds. Amidst vibrant coral towers shimmering in every hue imaginable, swam a small orange clownfish named Nemo, cheerful and full of energy. It was race day in the reef, and excitement bubbled over. His best friend, Pearl the pink octopus, wriggled her tentacles with impatience. "Come on, Slowfin," she teased, her voice bubbling with enthusiasm. Nemo simply smiled back, "You'll eat my bubbles, Pearl." At Papa Marlin's signal, the two friends burst forward. Weaving through coral spires, darting around sea fans and sponges, laughter echoing as tiny fish scattered in surprise. But as Nemo turned a corner in the race, a sudden bump sent a piece of coral floating down to the seafloor. "Oops," he murmured, glancing back to Pearl. "Nemo, you broke it," she exclaimed, concern in her voice. "It's just a tiny piece," coral grows back right. But Pearl frowned, and before she could respond, Nemo was off again, eager to reach that finish line. Nemo gazed around the reef, troubled by the frightened fish and the fallen coral. A heavy lump of guilt settled in his chest, but soon determination surged within him. The next morning, as the sun hesitated to rise, Nemo gathered his friends, Pearl, Sheldon, and Tad. "I broke the coral," he confessed, "but we can fix it together." Though unsure at first, they began to find their rhythm. Sheldon skillfully nudged pebbles into place with his long nose, while Pearl collected seaweed to bind the coral branches. Tad scoured the ocean floor for tiny shells to fill the cracks, and Nemo tirelessly pushed sand and coral fragments back into position. As hours passed, the water shimmered with their hard work and teamwork. Finally, they stepped back to admire their task. The coral stood strong, and a family of babyfish peeked out, squeaking with joy. Suddenly, the current returned, powerful and swirling. Yet this time, their precious coral held firm, flexing and glowing in the sunlight, as a wave of golden light rippled through the reef, breathing vibrant life back into their world.
The fish cheered, and the sea anemones danced joyfully in the water, while even the tiniest shrimp clapped their little claws in excitement. Pearl turned to Nemo, her eyes sparkling. "You did it." Nemo smiled back. "We did it." As evening descended, the reef was bathed in splendid shades of gold and purple. Floating beside his father, Nemo felt the gentle sway of their restored and peaceful home. Marlin looked at him with pride, saying, "You fixed what was broken." Nemo shrugged, his fins softly glowing in the twilight. "I didn't want to make the same mistake twice." Marlin nodded and replied, "That's how we grow, Nemo, by making things right." Above them, the surface shimmered like a mirror as Nemo watched a single bubble rise, creating smaller ripples that spread wider and wider. Smiling, he realized that from that day on, every current that passed through the reef reminded him of the simple truth. Even the tiniest action could create waves far beyond one's imagination. Sometimes, one small ripple was enough to change the whole ocean. So, choose your actions wisely.
That afternoon, the reef, usually alive with vibrant chatter, felt strangely quiet. A current stronger than usual swept through the coral valley, nudging a broken branch that Nemo had accidentally knocked loose. As it wobbled, more pieces began to tumble, and a small crack quickly became a gaping hole, leading to a collapse in the coral wall. Inside that coral, a family of babyfish lived, and as the debris fell, they darted out in sheer panic. In the chaos, a shadow glided ominously across the reef. A barracuda drawn to the disruption was on the prowl. Hiding behind a sea anemone, Nemo watched in horror as the predator approached. His heart raced, and the once serene reef now felt utterly fragile. Just then, a calm voice broke through his fear. "Looks like you've stirred up a pretty gnarly wave there, little dude," said Crush, the wise old sea turtle drifting by. Nemo replied softly, "I didn't mean to, I just bumped it." Crush smiled warmly. "Even the smallest ripple can make a big wave, bro. What matters is what you do next." The reef seemed to breathe again as hope returned.